What is going on, guys? The Inside the Boot podcast, and today we have a Yankees postseason video as they clinch the ALDS and now have their sights on the ALCS. They'll be playing the teams, either the Cleveland Guardians or the Detroit Tigers. Both good teams, both all in the same division, AL Central. Yanks win a big one. They win a big series. They move on. They win it in close fashion in the final game. But the thing is that they're moving on. They're moving on, and I'm pretty sure I said it, that this is a great chance for the Yankees to return to the World Series. I'm not trying to be cocky, but if you look at the situation, you look at everything, the Yankees are the team to beat in the ALCS and in the playoffs. On the AL side, NL side, of course, Mets are still in it. Padres and Dodgers are playing tonight. We'll see who wins that. Maybe we're hinting at a Subway World Series. We haven't got that in a long time. But regardless, a huge win for the Yankees. A huge win, helped by Giancarlo Stanton. Judge getting a double. A lot of good hits. Anthony Volpe and the bench brawl. Not really a bench brawl, but a very unnecessary benching clearing on a slide from, Garcia. That didn't need to happen. That was a complete overreaction off of a Anthony Volpe clean tag. You're out. And Garcia's like, nope, I want to start something. I want to get the pots boiling. Why? Why did that have to happen? That was so unnecessary. Obviously thankful that nobody swung or any big fights, because I think we all know how that would happen for the Kansas City Royals. Giancarlo Stanton and Judge, of course, right in the front of it, not letting anything else happen. Garrett Cole was in it. And Garrett Cole, his first start was not very good. He didn't give the innings. He didn't give what the Yankees needed. But Game 2 wasn't good either from Carlos Rodon. Didn't get enough innings. That was the problem with the Yankees, is getting innings from their postseason pitching. And we know the bullpen was elite. The bullpen did not allow a single run. They allowed an inherited run from Ian Hamilton from Carlos Rodon's start. But a really good all around. A lot of positives. Really no negatives except for Aaron Judge not being able to really come through it in many moments. But the Yankees get away with it with a postseason win and a postseason series win. So I'm not really too worried, but of course, I think us as Yankee fans, we find it very frustrating that Aaron Judge can't come through in many times. He's batting under 200 in the postseason, so maybe in the ALCS he starts to heat up and takes the weight off of Giancarlo Stanton. Giancarlo Stanton's been great, but getting back into the bullpen, this bullpen is something that Brian Cashman, of course, created. There was no Mark Leiter on the postseason roster. No Enley De Los Santos. Both of those guys traded at the trade deadline to the New York Yankees in exchange for some players. None of them on the postseason roster. It didn't matter because Tommy Kahnle stepped up. Luke Weaver, the new closer, stepped up. Clay Holmes, a guy that probably everyone looked at like, hey, Clay Holmes is warming up. Oh no, what's going to happen? Is he going to implode again, or is he going to lock in? And he definitely locked in this series. Another thing, Tommy Kahnle, Jake Cousins, Clark Schmidt was great too for his start. It was good enough to get the Yankees what they needed. But overall, just the bullpen. Tim Hill. Tim Hill's been a great acquisition. A lot of good acquisitions, and didn't really have to pay a price. That's something that Brian Cashman tends to be very good at as a GM, is filling in the bullpen correctly and moving on from players. Of course, it stunk. Overall, the trade deadline stunk besides Jazz Chisholm, but Yankees find ways. Matt Blake and Brian Cashman and the staff find ways to create an elite pen, and an elite pen that is going to help the Yankees in the ALCS. And if they make it to the World Series, it's definitely going to help them, because we know that Garrett Cole and Rodon didn't give you the innings in Game 1 and Game 2, but the bullpen held its ground. And the offense started to come alive. Giancarlo Stanton helping out. Alex Verdugo in Game 1 showed up. Still waiting for other guys like Wells, Jazz Chisholm. You can maybe say Anthony Volpe, who's batting .250 in the playoffs, to really get going. But regardless, a really, really strong series. That's a good Royals team. That's a team that's coming off 106 losses. So I think if you're a Kansas City fan, definitely be proud of this season. You kind of just got beat by a team that obviously the bullpen was elite, and you know what to build on from this now. For a Kansas City standpoint, they're a good team over there. Bobby Witt Jr. is going to have a great career there, and definitely a team to watch in the upcoming years. But getting back to the Yankees, we know that the bullpen allowed 0 runs, 15 and 2/3 innings pitched, 8 hits, 1 run, 15 Ks, and a 51% ground ball rate. A lot of ground balls. Saw Tommy Pham at the end ground ball to Anthony Volpe to win that game. In Game 1, they got a ground ball to win the game. Regardless, Kauffman Stadium did help out the Yankees a bit with those wins. It's at like minus 10 feet. Yankees getting real lucky in right field. Juan Soto having to play some balls in the warning tracks. Because I won't lie, I think it was MJ Melendez took a slider from Garrett Cole, and it was at the warning track, and I'm like, oh boy, is this gone? Is this gone? Is this gone? It stays in the ballpark, thankfully, and I think if that's Yankee Stadium, that's probably a home run. I think Gleyber Torres' fly out later in the game may have been a home run, so we could have had a lot of home runs in this Game 4 if it was at Yankee Stadium, because we know Yankee Stadium, it's a home run friendly ballpark in right field. That's why you stack lefties against it. And Jazz Chisholm had a home run in the series, but it was an upper deck. So, I mean, upper decky, that's definitely a home run in a lot of ballparks. But I believe there was like a stat, 26 of the 30 ballparks, I think for Melendez's flyout, it would have got out. So that would have definitely changed the game. But regardless, a really strong win for the Yankees. As we get into some more stats, 4 1/3 shutout innings for Luke Weaver. Luke Weaver, since being the closer since September 6th, he has 6 hits, 3-0 record. He has 7 of 7 saves, 29 strikeouts of 55 batters faced. That's a 52.7% K rate. And only 3 walks. Only 3 walks. Fastball is working from that nasty changeup that Matt Blake has fixed him. Just overall, I'm loving this bullpen. I'm loving the bullpen that I don't have to stress out and guys getting on for no reason. Yankees did draw a lot of walks, and it didn't help with the Kansas City Royals. Royals went with a different type of plan in Game 4. They had their closer try to eat some innings to really hold down the Yankees. Stanton had no part of that. Big hit in the inning. Drive home Judge. It started off with an RBI double, then a ball that gets away from Salvador Perez. Judge moves to third, and then Stanton bullet up the middle. But Giancarlo Stanton, I know a lot of Yankee fans don't love the contract. I know a lot of Yankee fans don't love the ugly swings. But when it gets to postseason baseball, this is why the Yankees gave him that mega deal. This is why Brian Cashman went out for Giancarlo Stanton. I have been a lover for Giancarlo Stanton for a while because of his postseason play. I know you get the ugly swings. I know you get the ugly base running. But Giancarlo Stanton is an elite postseason player. And the Yankees sort of relied on Giancarlo Stanton in this series. And, of course, the home run was cool to basically win the game. Like, Stan just finds ways to put the ball in play, and he puts it in hard. That hard hit ball in, was it Game 1 that got away from Bobby Witt Jr.? That's a tough play. And I think that's other people hitting in that spot. Bobby Witt's probably making an elite play at shortstop to rob a hit. And I know a lot of Yankee fans are calling for Giancarlo Stanton to be benched because of his base running. you have to deal with it. He has hamstring injuries. If he goes to a higher level of speed, he's going to get hurt. He's going to get hurt. He's been on the IL for so many times because of that hamstring injury or quad injury, calf strain, you name it. All in the lower body of the leg. So that's the downside. That's the bullet we gotta pay for Giancarlo Stanton. But I think he just got a lot of Yankee fans back on the hype train with a great postseason. He's batting .375. I know he's probably not going to keep that .375 batting average all of playoffs, but a really hot start. And going into the ALCS, we're going to need that bat again. We're going to need Judge's bat. We're going to need Soto's bat, who's been great. We're going to need Doogie's. Everybody in the lineup you're going to need. Getting back into some more stats. Clay Holmes. A guy that I heavily have critiqued in many ways and definitely deserving. Because because of Clay Holmes, he needs to be good in this series. He needed to be because and plus the Yankees called for his name a lot of times in this series to get big outs, and he did. He did. He definitely did. And with Clay Holmes, there was so much worry going into the postseason because he started off red hot in the regular season, right? That 0 ERA through the first 12 outings. He was dominant. Then we get into the later ball. He allows some home runs, allows a lot of hard hits, a lot of bad situations. And he comes into the series, lights out, sinker, working perfectly. My apologies on the English language. But he was great. He was great overall, and that's something that we need. Because the bullpen continues to play like this, and you play a hot team like Detroit, or you play a good team that's hanging on like Cleveland, the bullpen is going to be a main look for the start of the series. I mean, they're going to name it right off the bat. The Yankees bullpen was part of the reason why they allowed the Royals to do nothing. Bobby Witt couldn't get going. Salvi Perez hit a home run off of Carlos Rodon. That was about it for him. I mean, Vinny Pasquantino had an RBI. But overall, really fun series. Really just a very fun time of watching. I mean, there were definitely some heart attacks of those hard hit fly balls in a right field. But really proud of this team. Aaron Boone, who we haven't even talked about yet, probably had his best series managing a playoff series. I think that's safe to say because he was great. All the great decisions, going to Clay Holmes late, going to Luke Weaver, getting a 5-out save, all of it worked perfectly for the New York Yankees, but a great series, and we'll see who pitches Game 1. If I had to have some questions for the Yankees, it's 1, what is Luis Gil's role? Is it a time where if the Yankees get into that spot where they used a lot of the bullpen and, Rodon or Schmidt or Clark, not Clark, Cole, if they go early and they only go 2-3 innings, do they go to Luis Gil to eat 3 innings? Because I think that's definitely doable. I don't think Dominguez is going to play much in the postseason. I don't expect it unless bearing anything with Verdugo. Verdugo had a good series. Defensively was great. Hitting wasn't great, but I think Game 1 definitely gave him his flowers. He was great in Game 1. Jazz hasn't really done it with the bat yet in terms of batting average. Had a home run late in one of the games. Obviously, Marcus Stroman didn't pitch at all. DJ LeMahieu didn't play at all. They were left off the roster. We'll see what the roster looks like in the ALCS. I don't expect any changes at all. I expect Judge to get going. If anyone was wondering, it's Aaron Judge. He's eventually going to get going. I know he doesn't have a great postseason history, but if there's a time that Aaron Judge can get going, it's the ALCS. It's the ALCS, and we'll see what happens in the NL and in the AL. We'll see what the representatives are for the ALCS. Of course, the Yankees being one. The Mets are waiting for the Dodgers and the Padres. We'll see what it is, and let's do it, man. This is going to do it for another postseason video where I have a preview of the series, whoever makes it, whether it's the Tigers or the Cleveland Guardians. But anyways, guys, Yankees move on. They're heading to the ALCS. They have a great chance to make it to the World Series. Let's do it. And of course, smash that like button, hit that subscribe button, and always turn notifications on. Let your friends know about this podcast. Of course, I'm your host, Vin. Let's go Yankees. And of course, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.